Okay, so we've refreshed our page here, and now we see that the next failing test fails in our JavaScript Koans folder, and it's called About Arrays. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look into here. We could be using a Finder window and look through it like that, but in Atom we can press Command and the / key, and that'll give us the file of the project list. And so what we want to see is About Arrays. And it's right here, so you can double click that to get it to open. I can press the Command # key to get rid of that window again. And another even faster way is I can press Command P, and that will open up a folder structure where I can just type it in there, and then I could click it here to get there. So now that we've got About Arrays open, we should close the About Accepts, because we don't need that anymore. What we're looking at now is line 6 of here. This is where the error is. So now over here we go to line 6, and it says fill me in. So yeah, here we have an empty array is equal to we set an empty array. And so, okay, we'll just start at the top. Describe about arrays. And so the function we run through, and it should create an array. So here we have a var of an empty array, and we set that equal to the array. So the type of the empty array to be what? Well, it seems kind of obvious that it's going to be an array, but let's just play with it in the console. So again, I pressed Command, I've right-clicked and then Inspect, and that gets me to here, and I can click the console button to have a JavaScript console. This is called REPL, a reply evaluate print loop. So if you put something in here, like you say your variable of an empty array is equal to an empty array, you'll have actually saved the value. So nothing is returned initially from that, but now we've saved an empty array to the variable name of an empty array, and so then it becomes all this stuff. You'll notice that the arrays have all these things. They have a proto of that. And so what is the question here? Well, type of empty array. If we go type of, and we just have an array like this, and we pass in an empty array within there, you're going to see that it's an object. So what renders out is the string of an object. So we want to put that into here. So we expect, or into here, the type of an empty array to be an object. A mistake, and then they sort of share with you here that you can, that's kind of a question, because you would think an array would be an array, but it's actually an object. So yeah, it seems like this is some information that you can look in if you want to understand a bit more about that. But this is the kind of the process of learning the koans, is that they ask you questions and you learn because the answer is sometimes not obvious. So the JavaScript file has been altered. It's got a little blue dot here, so I press Command S, and that will save my work. And then I can come over here. We had passed 5, and so now it looks like we are passing. Oh, we're still passing 5. Expected 0. Arrays. On line 7 is where we're failing now. So it looks like that passed the test. Yeah, and maybe it just didn't work here. Anyway, so anyways, an empty array dot length. What do you think the empty array? Oh yeah, it's expecting 0. So this project actually gives you the answers before it asks you the question. So sometimes you can just see it like that. So this guy, an empty array dot length. Well, if we see an empty array and we go dot length, that gets us 0. I don't think you need to do that. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize just length would work. So here, instead of fill me in, we can make that 0, and that'll pass. So a multi-type array. So here we have an array, and within this array, there is an integer of 0, an integer of 1, a string of 2, a function which returns 3, and then an object which has 2 key value pairs. Value 1 is 4, and value 2 is 5, and then finally another array within the array. So this would be called a nested array in here. And so expect the multi-type array, the multi-type at position 0. So the position 0. So this is going to be 0. And position 2, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. So this is going to render out to be 2. And so I can just show you a little bit, I'm just going to take a second and we'll throw this into our command, our console's REPL environment, and then if we save that array, we'll have access to it here. So our multi-type array renders out to this list, And one thing that we can do with arrays is we can select them based on position. So if we go multi-type array at position 0, it is 0 right here. And then if we go at position 2, we're going to get the value of 2. So that shows us how we're getting it in here. So for 3, what do you think that will be? Well, if we were to run this in the REPL by itself, you'll see that it returns, function return 3. Well, I think essentially this is just going to return 3. I'm not understanding exactly why that would be. And then, so here's multi-type array at position 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 dot value 1. So that actually shows you how to call the string value pairs as well. So if you were to have this guy is equal to maybe we can set up a variable. So our variable of data is equal to this object. So if we go data dot, there's dot notation and string notation. So if we go data and then we go value 1, then it's going to render out to 4. And so here what they're saying is the multi-type array is our data, and then it's at value 1. So what does this equal? This is going to be equal to 4 because it records this value. And now this is dot notation, and then here they're doing string notation. So value type, they've got the multi-value array, so they're getting into this position on the array, and then it's saying what's value 2. Okay, so value 2, this is the bracket notation, and this is dot notation. So with the bracket notation, the next value is 5 because it goes to here. Now you can use dot notation or bracket notation equally. So it's up to you, whichever one that you seem to like more. And then here we have at position 5 in this array. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at position 5, but they want the position of the array at 0. So this is showing that you can use these square brackets to get into a value here. So this is going to be 6. Cool. So let's just save this and refresh our code over here. Nice. It looks like we passed the first element of the thing. So this is the it block here, and that shows one of these guys. So it gives us this green bar when we do that one correctly. And as you can see, this is a pretty big file, so I'm going to break this up into multi-part process. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. We covered a lot of really valuable thing here. We found out that we could initiate variables. We looked at arrays as a data type, and then we were able to say the multi-type array at position 0. So we were able to see locations and using locations to pick out data from arrays. This is super valuable stuff, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll see you in the next video.